All right, babes, do me a favor. Take a look at these photos. All right, skip to the seconds. Now, take a look at these. What do you spot? If you have spotted the difference, then your response should be, wow, these are beautiful, they're stunning, they're eye-catching, and they match the vibe of the video. That is the blueprint that I follow for my thumbnails and the blueprint that I will be showing a step-by-step guide so you can recreate it for yours. Let's get to it. Fact that shouldn't be taken lightly is that thumbnails are very important, y'all. It's the first thing that people see. So in order to create a beautiful thumbnail, you have to consider these three aspects: key photos, fonts and colors, and all eye details. In that order. Key photos are the photos or photo that builds your entire thumbnail, and depending on how you take it and how you place it and how you edit that photo alone will make or break the thumbnail, honestly. How I take my thumbnail photos will depend on whether or not I'm doing a sit down video or a vlog. If I'm doing sit down video, I'll just take the photo, but if I'm doing like a vlog and there's something interesting in that footage, I'll just screenshot it. And that actually, fun fact, it helps you stay within the moment of the vlog and actually makes it more authentic and realistic than versus just posing pictures and stuff. Once you've picked those, you can go and edit those photos because sometimes the photo might not come out right. For example, you might have taken the picture when it was like cloudy and it was cool and dark, and it might not fit the vibe of your video. If you're doing like a warm summery makeup type of thing, you will want the colors to match and you want to color correct it. And that's what I'll show you in the example later. Okay, you got the key photos. Cool. Now you need some font to spice up. And font can be very fun and it can also be very difficult because you see all these fonts and you think, oh, any of these can go. Wrong. The font also has to match the vibe of the video. For example, if you're doing a beach day, you want to do some font that relates to summer and beach instead of doing something that relates to like the fall or something that relates to like a specific holiday like Christmas or Easter. It's going to throw it off. Like this font right here, the one that I'm showing you, will not fit the vibe of the video because it's a Christmas font. But something like this would. And then, of course, if you want to add some color, you can add some color. Color can also be very tricky, so you also have to be careful of that because you don't want it to mush in with the key photos. I would start out with neutral, so like black, gray, white, even brown, or if you want to get a little bit more technical, you could match some of the colors in the key photos to the fonts. So if I were to color code like this, I would probably color code using my skin, so that way a nice brown would fit into the backdrop of this. Very technical, like I said, but if you want to do it, go right ahead. It's a great step. Speaking of steps, we're at the last step, all out details. Now hold on a minute before you guys add in all these big crazy pictures and hearts and all that stuff. This is really a time where you really need to think about what goes and what doesn't, because sure, it's easy to do that, but the whole point of a thumbnail is to be eye-catching, not an eyesore. So if I'm trying to be professional to the point of this video, obviously I don't want a lot of stuff crowding my face or crowding whatever is going to be the main key photo of the thumbnail, because then it's a little bit too busy and you're like, what the heck is this video about? There's so much going on. And yeah, sure, it's debatable because bright out there thumbnails have done well, but it really all depends on the type of video that you do because it might not be perceived well. See my cute little face right here. Ain't it all cute, guys? But this backing light isn't. Literally, my whole entire face is getting flushed out by all this annoying bright light, and there's some noise going around. It obviously looks a little too light fluffy. What I do first is I apply a lot of brightness and exposure. And one thing, actually, I want to point out that I usually don't edit my photos on Photoshop. I do it through Lightroom Classic, but today I just wanted to not do all those extra steps, and I wanted to give Photoshop Photo a little bit of chance because this photo wasn't to the point where it needed all of that. So I just apply some brightness and exposure first, and you can see it's starting to work a little bit, but obviously this backing light is still here. So what I did next was apply curves and levels, and see, it looks a whole lot better. Yeah, I added a lot of lighting techniques just so I can get this photo balanced out, guys. And that was a big mistake on my part, just taking a picture in front of the window. I know not to do that next time. Okay, with all the lighting done, and yeah, you see how I did levels 2 and how the picture just drastically made it darker. That got rid of this, but unfortunately made my face too dark. So what I did was create a cool little layer mask, which will come in handy in a bit. And boom, I added the same picture but a little bit lighter than the rest, and this actually makes it pop out from the photo and balance it out with the light so it doesn't bother you as much. And if it does, well, I'm about to add in some pictures later. Anyway, after that we need some fonts, and this is where that cool part comes in, because look at the week, how the week is set with the mask. and then look at it without. Obviously, I could have just did weak in front of it, but it looks boring. But with this, it's in the back of it, and you can see like part of the E and stuff in the back of my legs. And I did the same for busy and for in my life as well, and it just pops out so much better, guys. Oh, and by the way, these fonts that I used for busy and weak, I used the font called Buhong. I think that's, yes, it's the Adobe font. So if you have Adobe fonts, then you'll be able to download this. So it's Buhong. And then for the regular in my life, I think it was just, okay, so it's not letting me click on it, but it has to be, I think it was either typewriter or was this Ayutha, whatever, sorry, regular that I used. Either way, it was a plain old font that would make this Buhong pop. And for color, I don't know what it was, but whenever I try to, match the colors, this will come out darker than the next. I don't know if it's because of this mask that I put, but it kind of works. It's sort of like a cool illusion, and it makes you want to stay there and just look at it, which is obviously the main goal, is to get people intrigued in the thumbnail. So yeah, cute little mistake. And there you go, guys, the vlog that got 79 and counting views, a lot of new and lovely supporters, and ensured long form vlogs on my channel. Okay, we're done with the 3 aspects. Now we're around, oh yes, important points. And I'm just going to read off of them because I just did not remember them. So these are off of the aspect. This one happens to me all the time. Sometimes I just tweak the video so much that I don't know, is this right? Is this wrong? Well, if you're not sure, ask for a second opinion. 9 times out of 10, you probably live with someone. So just say, hey, would you watch this video? And if they say no, then yeah, go and tweak it. But if they say, oh yeah, then you can keep it as it is. Or if you want to make a small tweak, you can, but you don't have to tweak it a lot. Getting outside eyes from someone who isn't fully involved in the process is such a great way to differentiate from whether something is bad or not, because you've had it all in your face. So obviously you're going to pick it apart, and this is your own work. So you need a second opinion outside of that in order to make a final decision. 9 times out of 10. And if you want to do a third or fourth or be extra, that's on you, girl. That's on you. Remember what I said about editing that key photo? Be prepared to do that, because 9 times out of 10, even if you take a photo that's perfect, there's always bound to be something off, especially if it's a photo with just like this camera, not even a phone photo, because you can have the ISO up, and it can just be very sensitive, and it can be very noise driven. Sometimes you can cut something off. Like, just be prepared to edit that photo and just recognize it. And lastly, use this as a chance to try out a new technique. Like, you don't always have to do the same thing, even though I brought to attention that, okay, don't do too much. But if you know that there's a technique that you can use for this specific video, for this specific thumbnail, then use it. Like, who am I to judge? Because expanding from what you usually do for your thumbnails shows growth in you as a YouTuber. And who knows, you're bound to stick with this style because it racks in the views and the subscribers. You get what I'm saying? Oh my gosh, I'm so freaking crazy. Excuse me, it's 8 p.m. What do you want me to do? Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and hopefully it was informative and insightful to create beautiful thumbnails for your beautiful channel. And it's crazy, I just thought about this while recording this video. I could technically make this into a 4-part series, because I made a how to start a YouTube channel, how I edit my videos, and this video right now, how to make thumbnails. So the logical step would be to go over every resource I use for my channel. Comment down below if you would like to see that video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And of course, turn on the post notifications so you know when I upload next. And I will see you in the next one. Bye!